was, and like, I don't know, I could be wrong.
Yeah,
Do you watch Orange County?
I do.
What do you think of this season? How do you think Shannon's handling herself? Jesus jugs, like what are your thoughts overall on this season?
I'm really enjoying this season. I'm super happy about the place that it is. I feel like it's all at Shannon's expense, which kind of sucks for her. But at the same time, I feel like, at least in my eyes, Shannon is coming out on top. And going into the season, I did not think that that would be the case. Obviously, everybody super disappointed in her decision to drink and drive. There was serious damage done and could have hurt somebody. And I feel like that was on the forefront of everybody's mind. Now, I do think that, people make mistakes, but I think when you have Tamra like screaming on national television that you're an alcoholic, when you have Lexi, rubbing Johnny J in your face at every turn. It's like everybody around her looks worse than the big mistake that made all the headlines, And I feel like Shannon is handling herself, at least on the show on camera, in a very honestly graceful manner. Like she's never once popped off on Alexis. She, has had exchanges with Tamra, but Tamra has been very I think more aggressive in her approach. And I feel like people are siding more with Shannon, which I was just not expecting to happen.
I feel the same way. I feel Shannon is, like Jeff Lewis, when I think he said, like, you guys did her dirty and you left her with no allies. And, but, well, I mean, that is true, but she is getting a good edit, but I'm not even saying she doesn't deserve it. Like, I think she's really just like taking it all in. Like, what
Mhm.
else could Alexis do today? And she's just like, okay, I'm just going to leave this scene. I think she's coming across really well as well. I think it's kind of the season of Shannon, and it's like she's right. What more could you want her to do? And I feel like where there's all these, this one doesn't show their real life, this one doesn't show their real life. Like she is facing it. Like you're
Mhm.
not that she would sit a season out because everyone says like she lives for the show, but at least you're showing up every day and just dealing with it. You're not saying, let's edit this out or let's not talk
Yeah.
about this. Like it's all out there. So what better way to deal with it,
Yeah. And I feel like, for however much Shannon is facing things, I think also an equivalent is like people are just so strongly disliking how Alexis is acting. Like to me, it's giving very high school. And I don't know how old Alexis is, but she's older than an 18-year-old who has to parade around saying, "This is my boyfriend and he's your ex-boyfriend and look at our dog," and like all of these things. And I just feel like you don't need to act like that. Shannon knows that you are now dating John. Everybody knows that she's dating Johnny J, John Jansen, and that they're going to get married. You don't have to act like a high schooler about it.
Yeah, and like I don't know, I mean, I know you're a friend of, so you really shouldn't, there's not much you can do, but this isn't really doing her, like your whole story is Shannon.
Hmm.
If you are going to come back, and I think she's doing enough as a friend to come back. I mean, Jen Fessler did nothing the first season of New Jersey Housewives, and she certainly blossomed this second season. So I think Alexis will be back, but you aren't really doing yourself a service to just have everything be Shannon, Shannon, John, Johnny J. Like, who is Alexis? Like, where do you fit in with this group of women? I mean, I assume next season, if you're back, it's not going to be about John, unless I guess we make you a full-time cast member and we see all about you and John. But
Right,
I'm not
right.
sure anyone needs to see any more of that after this season.
I mean, John isn't like Louie level, but I don't like him,
Yeah,
by any stretch. I'm not like sitting there rooting for Alexis and John to get married and for it to be filmed on camera.
no. Are you excited for Beverly Hills? I mean, there's certain leaks that are coming out now. Like, I don't know when it will be back. They say later this year. Does this excite you?
Not really. Am I
Really?
like crazy and thinking that, I mean, I love Beverly Hills, but I think my perception is just a bit tainted at the moment because I had such high expectations for last season, as specifically with Kyle. And look, I'm a Kyle Richards fan. Like, I think she's a great housewife. I appreciate everything that she has brought the however many years she's been on the show. But I was really disappointed in the fact that I found out more about Mauricio and Kyle on Buying Beverly Hills in the first episode than I found out on the entire previous season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And I'm just like, Kyle, you had the opportunity, like, and this is your realm. Like, you are the reality star. How are you going to sit here and let your, probably soon to be ex-husband pull the rug out from underneath you and get more people to talk about his show than your show? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I also think the Kyle and Morgan thing is way overplayed. It's annoying at this point how they won't just answer the question. And I feel like now, even if they did answer the question and they are together, people are so annoyed by how they did it that they won't even like care.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of over that. I mean, the one thing is Garcelle said on Jeff Lewis that, like, I'm paraphrasing that Dorit is just doing everything. And Jeff is like, basically, you're saying she's a total bitch this season. And Garcelle was like, yes, basically. I mean, we did have bits of that with Dorit in the early seasons. I
Yeah.
just think, like, if we have just a total bitch of Dorit and it's like Dorit's season, the way it's Shannon's season. And yes, she has a lot going on at PK and she just takes it out on everyone and just doesn't care and just like show us who you are, Derby. If you're like, if some
Yeah.
switch turned and she's like, I'm just going to show them the real me and it's all going to be messy. I mean, I am so here for that.
Yeah, I am too. And this is so bad, but I forgot like that they were even going through their divorce, or they're not officially getting a divorce yet, but
Like
they are
separated.
separated.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also seeing that dynamic between Dorit and Kyle, going through similar things at the same exact time in their life when they had been on the outs, their friendship had kind of faltered for a bit. I don't think that this brought them back together. I think I saw that somewhere that they're still kind of on the outs. I
Yeah.
think it definitely has potential. And like, I love Sutton and I love Garcelle and obviously all of this, but I just hope that Kyle like takes control of her own narrative and stops just like pandering around.
And I don't know if you read this like recently that like the cast is over Kyle too, like that, and who knows if any of this is true, but that she is saying like, woe is me and like life is tough. And they're just like, look, I mean, yeah, we already dealt with this breakup last season. Like, this is life. This
Yeah.
happens. Yes, it was 27 years. You got to get over it. Like this poor little like rich girl, like everything is such a drama. Like we've all had our dramas. Look at what Erika went through. And I
Yeah.
read that the cast is just kind of like rolling their eyes at her and they're like, we just can't anymore.
Yeah. Well, I feel like, if that is how she truly feels, like I want to see how she truly feels, but I want to see her actually like really explore it and not just like put a band-aid over it and make it like a pretty package. Like I want to see her losing her mind over the pictures of Mauricio and Mykonos. Like I want to see that reaction and not just like you said, like the woe is me kind of put together, but upset,
Hmm.
kind of playing to the camera a little bit. But like, I want to see some rage texts. I want to see her talking to Farrah about how annoyed she is about the photos, like real stuff.
I mean, that's apparently where she is, according to Kathy. Like she was outraged and she is outraged. And right, like let's show that you're not happy with Mauricio. And I mean, that's what the rumors are that she's about to turn a page and just let it all out there. But I just